Good morning. So I've got my coffee here. We're ready to watch some Overwatch. And I've watched this video a couple times before, both of the videos a couple times before, and I think you do a pretty decent job. So there's just a couple small changes. Saw about 80 or 90% of it the first time through. We'll hopefully catch the last 10% here. Your team comp here is pretty good, so it's good team comp for Zen and Lucio, I think. So while we're waiting here for the prepare to attack, the main things with Zen, and I'm only bringing this up because I saw a little bit of this in the videos, is that you want to make sure that you're hanging back from your team so you can see the entire team, so you can orb whoever needs to be orbed at the time. Unless there's flankers, if there's a Tracer after you, or Genji after you, or Sombra after you constantly, then you want to stick a bit closer to your team so they can help you out. Outside of that, I'll bring up stuff as we see it. I've got the ability to draw here and stuff like that. So, like I said, I think you do a decent job. I think you're playing at a higher level than what you're at. You're probably playing at a gold level with your Zen versus you're in silver. And part of that, I'm sure, is going to be on the teams that you're on. But hopefully we can get you to gold or get you to plat or even higher.
5, 4, 3, ready, guys? Let's go.
So the first thing here that's really good is you have your orb on Winston. Winston is the perfect character, especially as you're first coming out of the gate, to put your orb on, because he's going to end up diving in, doing a little bit of damage, taking a little bit of damage, and then jumping back out. And the reason I stopped to highlight that there is because Winston's about to dive. Here he goes. What happened to his orb? His orb went to D.Va, who's not really taking much damage, and even if she was, she's next to a door right there where she can go in and get a health pack, and bring herself back up. But, she can DM, she's not taking damage, she can go get that health pack. So your Winston goes in here, he has no health pack, you're on the Rhine, and Winston dies. So that's just kind of one of those things. If you have somebody going in, a Winston, a Tracer, a Genji, as long as you possibly can, you want to keep that health pack on them. Now, if you can't see them, obviously it's one thing, but you want to keep that health pack on them because they're going to try and go in, do that little bit of damage, and then get back out as quickly as possible. So if they don't have that health pack, then you can see what happens here. Okay, you're putting out discords, and that's one of the things I noticed watching these videos is you put out the discords, constantly. So that's a good thing.
Move it, soldier. Come on.
Okay. So nothing wrong with this. Put your orb on Monkey. Put your orb on Monkey. You got your orb on Lucio, and Lucio can heal himself. And that's not to say that you would never put your orb on Lucio. That's just saying that, usually you want to keep it on somebody who can't heal themselves. This is a silver level strategy here, defending right here with a turret and Reinhardt. Good Discord. Discord that Rhine. Almost, I think he just missed it by a second. So I watched this a couple times, and I thought about that, and I'm gonna make a comment on your Transcendence in general. That one I'm not sure about because your D.Va was very low. It didn't look like they were going to be able to bring back up. So I'm sure you did heal some damage here, probably 400 or 500 damage since your D.Va was so low. But what happens next is probably what you would have wanted to save it for. But luckily you weren't punished for what happens next. Because the Reinhardt is so low, even though he earth shatters, he dies instantly. But usually that's where you'd want to use your Transcendence to keep your team from dying, because usually that's going to be a team wipe. I'm on the objective. Rally to my position. Great discords. Good teamwork. The other thing that I'll stop to point out here is I'm watching your mic, and you don't have a mic, or you're not on mic. Part of being Zen, especially the higher levels you get to, is you're the shot caller. mainly because you can see everything, because you're usually far back from your team, so you can see everything that's happening. It's really important to have a mic, and if nothing else, telling people who you've discorded. Okay, orb on monkey. And your monkey dies again. Or no, he didn't. It was actually somewhere, but he had to pop his ult right there. So you always want to keep your orb on monkey or Genji. I think you have a Genji in your composition here. It might have been a soldier instead. Yeah, my bad. It was a soldier. But you want to keep your orb on whoever's diving. So if D.Va were diving, she's not really doing that. You'd want to keep it on her, but since monkey is diving, you want to put your orb on him. There you go. You're hanging back from the team a bit, able to see most of everything that's going on. You want to watch your back left, because I can hear it. And behind you, Genji behind you. So I noticed that in a couple places on this video. If you don't have a headset, you might want to invest in one, because you can hear where people are coming from, and audio is a huge part of the game. So there's this one, and then later there's a Junkrat once or twice. So you just want to make sure that you have that to where you can hear it. Now, don't get me wrong, in Diamond or Diamond or Masters, you would have been wiped out by that Genji instantly. So it wouldn't have mattered too much unless you had trans right there. But you just want that enabled so you can hear what all's going on around you. In Diamond or Masters, he would have been right next to you when he pulled that, and so you would have been dead, like I said, nearly instantly. Or he would have dashed in. You might want to turn off your tips too, unless you like them. So it's good. You have good aim as Zen. Like you said, 20%. To me, it looks like decent aim. So, like you said, you spam a lot, but there's nothing wrong with that, unless, like you said, you get caught with no ammo. But I haven't seen that so far. Move my mouse here.
That secures the payload. Let's move it out.
Okay. I paused that for one reason. So as Zen, you want to be able to see your team, you know, what they're doing. You want to be on the back line. And like I said, unless you have a flanker, and then you can be right with them. You know, they're flanking you. You moved up, your entire team is behind you. And so if they decide, if three people come around the corner, or in this case, you know, we've got right here, we've got Genji, okay, we've got Zarya, and if somebody else comes around the corner, you know, they're going to concentrate you, you're done, you're deleted instantly. So, you know, stay a little bit back, see your team, put those orbs on, take those orbs off, you know, put them onto different targets. Orb on monkey, there you go. See how he stayed alive that time? Well, he did end up dying, but that's because he didn't jump back. But he could have jumped in, did his damage, and then jumped back with that orb on him. Yep. You picked that out right away. That was great. They're behind you and above. There you go. So you pick up most stuff. I mean, I think you got, well, now that, so I think in this video, if I remember correctly, that worked, but keep in mind, Transcendence does not keep your team from dying. It just keeps you from dying whenever there's a D.Va bomb. So you can see that the Winston bit it right there. You know, it kind of worked, I think, because the other team hadn't respawned yet, or they were off doing who knows what. But in the end, really, all you did was save yourself. So I probably would have died there, or, you know, see if I could hide behind the payload. But, you know, I think you guys are about to win anyways. It's just as you get to the higher level play, make sure that Transcendence is such a powerful ultimate, such a powerful defensive ultimate, that you want to make sure and save it, you know, and use it when it's going to benefit the team the most. So that right there, okay, so that was what I was remembering. So you did your trans, and then you saw right there, go back a couple seconds here. Uh-oh, there we go. Let's go back like this. There you go. So that ulting Genji, that's what you want your transcendence for. Because in a higher level, you know, that Lucio's gone, your Diva's probably gone, you know, and then whoever else is back here with you is going to be gone. And especially since he's nanoed, you know, he's going to take stuff out instantly. So that's why you want to save your transcendence for stuff like that. Okay, so they team wiped, coming back.
Group up with me. We need to keep this moving. Understood.
Okay, you see the Junkrat. You don't want to go towards the Junkrat when you're in a corridor like that. But you keep coming back for him. Good. I'm glad you dove down. Nothing you can do about that. You know, just got focused by the Pharaoh is all. But your team got a team wipe. So, you know, and you win here. So overall, not a bad round. Like I said, you just really want to concentrate on keeping your orbs on your diving teammates. You know, Winston, Tracer, Genji, stuff like that. You want to make sure and listen to your audio cues to know who's around you, and you want to make sure that your team is almost always in front of you. Once in a while, there's a time where you don't want them always in front of you, but most of the time you want them always in front of you. And then the last thing is you just want to make sure that your transcendence, you get the maximum value out of your transcendence. Nothing, you know, you didn't do terribly, especially, you know, with the transcendence, especially, you know, at the level that you're at. But if you want to continue to move up, it's going to be really important for winning those team fights to use it. You know, like I said, when you've got that ulting nano Genji, you know, or you've got, you know, I think in the next video we see a Pharaoh barrage come in. So you really want your transcendence for best possible moment. So I'm going to stop this one, create another video based off your round 2. See you in a minute.